After a day off on Saturday, the Buffalo Bills were back at it on Sunday with a non-padded practice at St. John Fisher. I am Josh McCarty from Bills Chat. Let's get into all of it right now. The day started off with some good news for the Buffalo Bills as defensive tackle Jordan Phillips was activated off of the PUP list, making him eligible to practice with the team. Now, he only took part in individual drills today, no team periods, but you would expect that to continue to ramp up as we make our way through August. Where this becomes interesting, however, is I was under the impression that Von Miller and Jordan Phillips had a very likely chance of starting the actual regular season on PUP, which would have freed up 2 extra roster spots for guys like Shaq Lawson, Shane Ray, maybe a DJ Dale, who are fighting for that last spot on the 53 to get a longer runway into the regular season to prove their worth to this team. Jordan Phillips being back is just another name into that mix of a very deep defensive line group. It's going to be fascinating to watch this play out both at defensive tackle and defensive end as we now start to make our way into the preseason. A couple of guys who did not participate in the blue and red scrimmage, Matt Milano and Taron Johnson, were back on the field on Sunday. That's not a surprise. Sean McDermott did say that they were just out with general soreness. Did not anticipate those guys having any kind of extended absence, so it was good to see them out there even though it was a non-padded session. The story of the day is second-year cornerback Christian Benford. Now, for the majority of training camp, it has felt like the cornerback 2 position opposite Tre'Davious White has been a 2-horse race with Dane Jackson leading the way and last year's first-round pick Kaiir Elam starting to really ramp up and rotate with him the last few practices. But what we saw on Sunday was Christian Benford get by far his most work with the first team, and boy, did he take advantage of it. He had 2 interceptions on the day, and from all the guys that were at practice today, they said he was excellent in coverage, both in individual and team. I firmly believe Christian Benford deserves every chance to get this starting position. I know he's not the incumbent like Dane Jackson. I know he's not the former first-round pick like Kaiir Elam. But good is good, and Christian Benford, every time his number has been called, has come through for the Bills. I want to see what they have in Christian Benford. I think there's a very high likelihood that they got themselves a starting caliber player on day 3 in the draft last year, and it's exciting to think about what he could become, especially if Kaiir Elam continues to develop and Dane Jackson just stays his baseline steady self. The Bills are going to be in great position at cornerback 2, having some depth we have not seen in a long, long time. The middle linebacker battle was really much of the same today as both Tyrel Dodson and Terrell Bernard rotated in. I don't know that we're getting any closer to an actual answer at the starting middle linebacker position. That feels like something that may not get sorted out until they start hitting other teams in preseason games. But for now, it's absolutely a 2-horse race. Tyrel Dodson, Terrell Bernard. Feels like Ty is going to go to Tyrel Dodson for reasons we've outlined in other videos on this channel. Right now, I think Tyrel Dodson has about a 60-65% chance of being that starting middle linebacker, with Terrell Bernard still very much in the race. Although, I'll repeat, I don't think that it's a given that the starting middle linebacker for the Buffalo Bills is going to be a 100% snap share player like Tremaine Edmunds was last year. I think you could see a situation where early downs you see one player, third downs you see another, and then you'll also see a mixture of guys like Taylor Rapp coming in some dime situations. So it's worth monitoring, but right now it feels like there's just a slight edge to Tyrel Dodson and maybe some momentum to him being the opening day starter for the Bills at middle linebacker. As far as offensive guard goes, again, more of the same. Ryan Bates and Osiris Torrance rotating in. Torrance started off the day. Ryan Bates took over. They split the snaps pretty much. Without pads on, it's really hard to evaluate these offensive linemen. This felt like kind of a take-it-easy day for the Bills. This is another position that I think once the Bills are able to go out there and hit other teams, we might get some clarity on what's going to happen at right guard. But right now, this absolutely feels like a coin flip. A little bit of a scare took place at practice today as Cam Lewis got banged up going for an interception on Kyle Allen. He was down on the ground for a little bit, looked at by trainers, walked off on his own power, did have a slight limp. We'll have to wait for Sean McDermott to update the media later in the day. Later in the week, excuse me. It didn't sound like from those on hand that this is anything to be too concerned about, but until you hear an update from Sean McDermott, just keep it in the back of your mind that, Cam Lewis could miss a few days if he's not 100%. A great sight. Kim Pegula was back at the practice field today. We just continue to wish her and the entire Pegula family the absolute best on her journey back with this medical issue she's been dealing with for now the better part of the last year. The Bills only have 3 training camp practices left. They are back on the practice field on Monday at 9:45, but it is worth noting this one is not open to the public. Only the media can view this practice, so don't go out there thinking you're going to get to watch the Bills practice. We look forward to bringing you all the information we can gather from that practice and all training camp coverage going forward. Please stick with us at Bills Chat. I am Josh McCarty, and I will see you next time on Quick Chat.